The market streets of Jorvaxx Prime were soaked in purple mist and the smell of sizzling meat. Neon signs pulsed above merchant stalls, advertising everything from fusion grenades to black market DNA mods. I was just another human contractor, trading muscle for credits. But that night, everything changed. I was headed back to my quarters in Sector 6 when a figure staggered from the shadows. "Human," she rasped. She was tall, wrapped in a threadbare shawl. Her skin shimmered faintly under the artificial lights, soft lavender with opalescent veins. Her long black hair was tangled, and her eyes were two galaxies trapped in sorrow. "I don't want trouble," I said, instinctively resting my hand on my holster. "Please," she whispered. "My daughter. She's missing. Taken. I'll give you anything, my food, my body, my life. Just help me find her." I froze. I don't do that," I said. "But I'll help." Tears welled up in her glowing eyes. "Why?" No one else even listened. "Because you're a mother," I said. "And you shouldn't have to trade yourself to save your child." She collapsed to her knees. "Then thank you, human." Her name was Aelari, and she was a Talrine from the outer colonies. Her daughter, Vessa, only 12 years old, had gone to trade scrap with the humans in the old hangar yards. She never returned. No ransom note. I asked as we walked through the dirty alleys of Sector 9. She shook her head. "Just a toy. Left at the entrance of the Black Maze." I stopped dead. The Black Maze. That's gang territory. No one goes in there and comes out sane. "She's in there," Aelari insisted. "I feel her. I know she's alive." I'd seen too many alien refugees lose children to the underworld, kidnapped, enslaved, or worse. But something in Aelari's voice, her absolute certainty, her burning desperation, ignited something in me. We entered the maze that night. The Black Maze was an old industrial grid, a labyrinth of rusted pipelines, broken machines, and forgotten tech. The further in we walked, the more the city disappeared behind us. "Stay close," I told her, flashlight scanning ahead. She nodded, but her grip on my coat was trembling. We found the first clue near a collapsed catwalk, Vessa's satchel. "Torn," Aelari gasped, picking it up. "This is hers." I scanned the area, scorch marks, foot traffic, and the lingering trace of synth powder. She was taken by Red Teeth. "The gang?" I nodded grimly. "They run illegal auctions. Slaves. Fighters. And sometimes, children." Aelari began to sob, clutching the bag to her chest. I crouched beside her. "Listen to me. If they took her, she's not gone yet. The Red Teeth keep captives in the lower levels. But we'll have to fight our way through." She looked at me with such raw hope it nearly broke me. "I will follow you to the end," she said. We descended into the underworks, past graffiti-tagged walls, flickering lights, and the stench of corruption. Red Teeth scouts spotted us before long. "Human. You lost," sneered one, a bald man with glowing implants. I didn't reply. I just drew my sidearm. 3 shots, 3 bodies. Aelari ducked behind cover, her body trembling. "I'm sorry," I said, pulling her up. "This won't be clean." "I'm not afraid," she whispered. "I just want my daughter." We pressed on. By the time we reached the cage levels, I was bleeding from a graze on my shoulder, and Aelari had taken a blast that singed her shawl. But we were alive. The cages, however, were full. Aliens of every kind sat behind force fields, some too broken to speak. Aelari ran from cell to cell. "Vessa! Vessa!" Then I heard it. A soft cry. "Mama!" The voice came from a tiny cage at the end of the hall. Aelari sprinted, crashing against the bars. Inside was a small girl with her mother's lavender skin and frightened eyes. Vesa. They reached through the bars, sobbing. I pulled out my lockpick tool, but it sparked red teeth tech. I'll hack it, I said, kneeling by the panel. That's when the floor behind us trembled. A door slid open. A monster stepped out. Not a literal one, but close. 9 feet tall, armored implants, fanged grin. The Red Teeth's boss, Captain Jorvaxx. Well, he grunted. A human and a traitor alien. Trying to free merchandise. She's not merchandise, I growled, standing up. Jorvaxx laughed. Everything's merchandise here. He raised his plasma flail. Run, Alari, I said. Take Vesa and run. But she didn't. She stood in front of me. You won't hurt him, she said fiercely. Or my child. I'll crush you both. Not if I burn first. She raised her hand. A spark of energy glowed. Taurine were known for empathy. Rarely, a few could burn their life force for a final burst of power. Don't, I shouted. Too late. Alari released a wave of psychic fire. Jorvaxx screamed as his neural implant shorted, sparks bursting from his chest. He dropped dead. Alari fell to her knees, smoke rising from her skin. I caught her. I'm sorry, she whispered. I had to. No, I said, choking. You didn't have to do this alone. She smiled faintly. You're a good man. One day, tell Vesa. Tell her I never traded myself. Only my soul. And she collapsed in my arms. 3 days later, Vesa was safe at the refugee shelter. I used every credit I had to move her off-world, to a school for survivors. She clung to me before boarding. I'll see you again, right? She asked. You will, I promised. And I'll tell you stories. About a brave woman named Alari who crossed a galaxy to find you. She nodded solemnly. Will you miss her? Every day, I said. And I meant it. Later that night, I returned to the alley where we'd first met. The air still carried the faint scent of her presence. She had offered her body, out of desperation, not shame. But I never took it. What I took was her trust. What I gave was everything I could. And in the end, she gave more than anyone ever should.